A very warm welcome to another edition of Super Eye, your television program that brings a searchlight on the ills of the society and, of course, by extension, the positivity in the country and beyond. I'm Adenike Owoeye Ajiboye. Yesterday on the program, our focus is on Nigeria's state of insecurity. Yes, you would agree with me that this is one major challenge that is facing us as a nation. And up until now, there seems not to be a solution to nipping in the bud insecurity. Just recently, June 29 precisely, you recall what happened in Borno in Nigeria. Yes, it was a suicide bombing. What that happened at different occasions, about 3 occasions. One happened at a wedding ceremony, another at a burial ceremony, and what have you. And in that incident, about 30 people were said to have lost their lives, and of course the number is counting. As we speak today, it has increased, but of course that is official number. Who knows what the exact number of those who died are. So today on the program, our focus is on how we can better achieve a secure Nigeria. Now this time around, the focus is on artificial intelligence, AI, its potentials, and of course we're also looking at education. I mean, these are many more is what we will be looking at on today's edition of Super Eye. Of course, to join me to take a closer look at the topic of discussion, join me to welcome, of course, this time around, I'm bringing somebody from the education aspect. Of course, education sector. Is a lecturer, and of course, he is also lecturing at the United Kingdom. Join me to welcome a seasoned researcher, an engineer, an esteemed expert in the field of artificial intelligence and security. Join me to welcome Dr. Celestine Iwendi. Doc, you're welcome to Super Eye.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me today.
Right, beautiful. So, Prof, let's quickly hit the nail on the head. You are a Nigerian and you're based in the United Kingdom. You're also a lecturer at University of Bolton, of course, UK. First, let's look at Nigeria. What views do you share about the state of insecurity in this country?
Yeah, what I see in Nigeria is that banditry has become an industry, and then that it is easier to solve the insecurity problem in Nigeria than to solve hunger problem. So that is what I see. And I also see that a whole lot of things are not being implemented. The ones that are not implemented are not actually rightly performed. So we have implementation problem, we have idea problem, and Nigeria, like major other African countries, we've lost some people. People make noise. We mourn, we cry, and after 1 week we forget. We'll go back to the drawing board again. So there is kind of no direct implementation that will bring the impact to solve the security problem in Nigeria. And that is why people like us teach on AI. What humans cannot do, we can bring in intelligence into it to make our work faster.
Okay, talking about exploring AI, first of all, how do you react that, I mean, for number of years now, Nigeria has continued to battle this insecurity. And for me, I'm perturbed. Are you perturbed? And how best do you think we can actually explore AI in solving this challenge?
Yeah, the problem is we have not yet, of course, most of the governments are trying, but have we gotten to that limit where we can predict? When we use AI means, artificial intelligence, trying to look at what happened in the past, what is happening in the present, and what will happen in the future. That is the definition of AI for me. Ability to see the past, the present, and the future. Right. Do we have that? Can we predict? We always come up when things has happened. When there's any crime anywhere, It's even when the armed robbers have gone, the police will appear. So there's no preemptive. And that is, AI comes from statistics, ability to preempt what will happen. I wrote a particular paper which we are investigating on how we can detect electricity in 2 weeks if there's going to be a blackout.
Really?
That is what you can do with AI. Predict, tells you.
How can that work?
Well, because we don't have the data.
That doesn't look real to me.
Exactly. But these are possible online. Because we did the practical. We did it. So it's not just talking as a lecturer or as a professor. No, we also collaborate with the industry. It's that practical implementation that makes us what we do, and that is the result, ability to predict. And once you can predict, then the problem is solved. How can't we predict what happens to the information display? What happens to information sharing between those in the military, in the police, in the Air Force? Now, if everyone is working together, we are not going to have lapses. And it's very clear to see in AI where these faults are coming from. That is where you even detect and where you even see where someone has not done his work well. Because the whole system will showcase where the lapses are coming from. So looking for saboteurs will be very easy to detect. In the system. We're talking about in the system. While outside the system, it will be very easy. Especially using AI in crowd management. That is superb. We can use computer vision to detect. Because you have this information. And something like terahertz, imaging, something like millimeter scanners. These are things that can be used. That can be used to detect robotic sniffers. We have a robotic one that can walk. Why sending people into the cave where they don't know to go and kill or capture, Boko Haram or whoever, where you can use robotics? Now, the war that is going on between, Russia and Ukraine now, is on drones. Why is the border not monitored with base station? You see, if the border is monitored with base station, what you only need is to set up the drone and monitor everything. You don't need to go around. What it also does, it makes your work efficient and effective. And then the military will be, but the military needs this equipment. Are they there? No. How many of the police officers, we train them 3 batches in Delta? How many of them? Well, the idea when I set up the training in Delta was to bring up people, police people that could use not just the system, but ability to use different kinds of AI, machines and others. Build our own systems. Because in every country...
How possible? How possible?
We have all the centers. The thing is, what are the centers doing? There is no feedback. Nobody is asking a question. You pump in money into a road. You don't even ask whether the road is built. You pump in money into research. You don't even ask, well, what has been done with the research? Oh, recently we got 3 million from EU project. Myself and our colleague. We got the project, but we are accountable to it. Boy, oh boy, you give that 3 million to some of our colleagues in Africa. What happened is they will go and buy a car and buy Jeep and then build a house. But we have to give account, of every kobo that is spent, every pound that is spent. And then we have results. There's feedback. So when you don't create this system, you create room for corruption. That is the problem. So when the system is created, feedback is created. Who handles this? Can you give more the report of what was invested? Can you come in and explain what you have done with it? Accountability. Once you have it, then we are set for anything to wake up. And why it is annoying is that it's a place where you don't have security. The companies will begin to leave. They're already leaving. People want to be sure that they send their workers to a place and they come back to their family.
Safely.
Safely. Nobody is waiting to go in and die for anybody. So if you can guarantee security, guarantee electricity, guarantee clean water, I tell you, this country is too rich. We don't need to depend on oil. Because our lands are fertile.
So you just said something about the there's no need for Nigeria to be over dependent.
Oh, no. We never depended on it.
So are you saying that if we explore the potentials of AI,
yes,
are you saying that the gains in this, or is just about fighting crime?
No, some people even tell you that AI will take their job,
Yes,
but that is not true. It is the people who don't know AI that will lose their job.
Okay.
I was speaking in Indonesia the other time, and then the funny thing is that they invited me to speak. The lawyers invited me into the program. Now, but the thing is, and they were like, "What is a computer person doing in a law program?" International, and then the minister were there, and I told them, I said, listen, in the next 5 years, any lawyer that does not know AI and any judges that does not know AI will lose a case and will not judge the case well.
How?
Because every law is based on evidence.
Absolutely.
If I can change your camera, I can change your picture. I take your picture now and I will put you in a scene, a crime scene.
But that can be detected even as the usual editing. I mean,
no, not with AI.
Oh, really?
I can do. You will not even know which one is more original. In fact, you will believe the AI own is more original than the one you have taken with ordinary camera. I can mute your voice. Like now, I'm trying to make the voice of what's her name, the Queen Elizabeth, to sing in museum.
Okay.
Her voice. So you will not, and then you'll be asking her questions, she will be telling you. And that is her voice. You understand?
Yes,
telling you, asking questions. But is it you? It's not you. But the person is dead. But you are hearing the voice. And if you have heard so much about her voice, even hearing that voice, you're like, oh, this is a Queen Elizabeth. Where did you come out from? And then you see, this is...
But I think there's something about the pictures or the image, so to say, that can actually give you an inkling to the fact that this is not natural. It's not the person.
Now, if I change the voice and I put it in to speak to your bank manager, which they have done to a whole lot of people, and tell your bank manager, can you release this money? I'm giving you permission to release the money, because sometimes the banks want confirmation from whoever is sending it.
So yeah, it can be used to
imitate the person. To imitate. It's already, some people are already using it. That is why I keep saying you cannot use an analog system to defeat a digital system. So what I was trying to say, the media, I mean the security should be up and doing to know exactly. Okay. And the system, but it's not yet there. The training is not yet there. If it is there, it's for a few. What of the others? We're talking about, is it only just in Abuja headquarters or special units? What of the ordinary common police people? How will they dictate? Or the ones that lost their lives, because they were in the border, and they feel, oh, these are criminals, and so someone is carrying a bomb, and then the person just died like that. Why not have a scanner with them? Why not have a kind of millimeter scanner for people to pass through before you see what China did when COVID came out? Because I was in China, then I just left China when COVID came out. They brought up so many scanners, and those scanners, it will just tell you if you have COVID, if you if you have high temperature and all that. Nobody is there. And once you have this alarm alarm goes on, and then the next thing is a room will open for you to enter. Nobody is touching anybody. But you cannot pass. You cannot pass it without that scanner checking you. So you don't need human beings to be there to catch a COVID. You see what we're talking about. So and
like
then
what obtains what happening?
No, what's happening here? They give you some
exactly.
There's somebody who come nearby and say blow exactly there, and even by blowing, you are blowing out COVID to the person.
I'm telling
you. See, so many of them caught COVID because of the place where they were working. But with AI, that was developed to save this kind of problem, people were able to be checked. And then immediately it detects you, they quarantine you. And a whole lot of things happen. And there was no mercy. In India, the same thing. The rich and the poor were sent to the same place. So even though they say, oh, I am rich, I am poor. No, you have COVID, every one of you go into the camp.
Okay, Doc. From your profile, I read you are a leading researcher in AI applications and, of course, the head of Center of Intelligence of Things at the University of Bolton, yes, UK. Yeah, as a Nigerian working in the UK, I'm sure there's a perception over there. Just recently, I heard a pastor in one of these African states saying that in Nigeria, that is quite unfortunate that our challenge is bad leadership. And of course, he said what Nigerian leaders know how to do, I mean, with apologies to the government of the day and all other government officials, is just to steal. And, you know, you just talked about corruption too. What perception do people share there? And how do you think we can, you know, tackle this?
My mentor will say, if you don't want to be criticized, say nothing, do nothing, become nothing. The fact is, we can change this perception by good leadership. You know, this perception has been since Nigeria got their independence, so it's not going to change anyway, any day. But who makes it to change is how you implement things, how you bring in the change, how you lead by example. If I'm saying, okay, that because you are so rich, you know, sometimes I wonder, you know, how much they pay our senators and our rep. And someone is saying, I am serving the people. You're not serving, you're serving your family. You're not serving the people. The best way to say I'm serving the people is to come out like what we did. We have put in over 80 million in my town.
80 what?
80 million. We have hosted, we had 50 computers in the library, set up the library. I gave them 1 million ebooks. We have 50 computers in the police station. We trained 3 sets of police people. And, you know,
which of the states?
In Delta, you know, Washuku. You know, so these are all the things we have. We don't need to make noise about it. If I'm not saying now, people are like, oh, this is what you do.
Then
so
I bet you are not a typical Nigerian.
Yeah, we got 13.
The orientation is different now.
Yeah, we got 13. I got 13 people on full scholarship for 3 years in China. You know, and then in UK, we are now talking of collaboration. You know, later in the week, we are in ESUT trying to help them bring up these things.
I have to quote you. I want to know, what is the rationale behind it? What's the motivation? Because I always believe that before people can do things for you, there's always a reason behind that.
Oh, yes. We stopped some of the program, the police one, because some of them were like, oh, you need to pay us. And I told them, we got a house for the coppers. We are paying the coppers. We are paying the, you know, experts. We are giving certificates. We are provided training ground. We refurbish the whole place in a local police station. Then we brought the lab. In fact, generator that was there, the DPO that was living carried the generator. I bought another generator. We bought generator 3 times.
Don't tell me you have a political ambition. Maybe that's the reason.
I've been doing this for many years.
Oh, really?
In fact, it was even the COVID that stopped, and I was organizing program, bringing 100 doctors every 2 years to the town, you know, with program, and then bringing, you know, Choma Jesus that they won't buy, you know, because I serve in New York. These are people I listen to, are my mentors. Nobody is asking us for money. We just do it for the town, you know, bringing that awareness.
Prof, I'm trying to get this right, because I mean, just like my viewers, you know, an average Nigerian wouldn't want to believe that somebody can do such, I mean, this a magnitude of what you've done for no reason. I mean, so I really want to know, are you just being a philanthropy?
Yes, I'm actually an IEEE known ambassador. And a philanthropist. So if you see my profile on LinkedIn, I'm actually an IEEE philanthropist. So I do this year and year.
So I think I should welcome you to my program, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, a philanthropist.
But we don't. You see, you don't need to blow your whistle, your trumpet. You just do what you do because you love your people.
But people like you, I mean, this is what we're talking about for Nigerians in diaspora. I mean, you have been able to advance your course and to a level where you're comfortable. When you're comfortable, I think what should be of utmost importance should be humanity. Do you understand? So what do you do? How do you affect your world positively? So I can tie what you're doing to nation building. Am I correct?
Yes, you actually don't need too much money to do what you're doing. Anyone who cannot give when you don't have, cannot give when he has.
It's just about large heart.
It's about large heart. And then looking at how do you help humanity. So that's where the IEEE that we do comes in, because our goal is to, how do we better the society? Right. You know, I entered into AI. I have my 3 master's degree. My first master's was in Nigeria with my bachelor in electrical electronics engineering. Then I moved down to Sweden. I did a master's, second master's in scientific computing. Then I did another master's in communication hardware and microsystems before I went for my PhD, where I specialize in security and Internet of Things. You know, so the thing is, you are doing it because you have seen the world. You have seen the world, and you are coming back to give back to the society where you grew up from. That is exactly what my aunt, Okonjo-Iweala is doing. You know, and she has a very big program. I won't announce it online. She has a very big project even for the town.
So would that be right to say that this is kind of a family legacy?
Yeah, and then we are we are doing it for the humanity. She's serving for the humanity. I'm serving for the humanity. The other day I was in Geneva, you know, because we are planning something for WTO, you know, and then next 2 weeks she'll be again with us in both. These are all the things. So people are doing it. We are not looking for anything. Well, it's not coming and serve. My late brother was the first PRO 3 times, has Iwendi, you know, in Nigeria and South. So we have family name to maintain. We have the integrity to defend.
I see. Let me, before you write on, let me just say, because I'm a fan of Mrs. Okonjo-Iweala, because I love her simplicity, of a woman of substance, doing her thing calmly. I mean, respect to that very woman. So for us not to digress from the topic of discussion, yes, as a highly motivated researcher and teacher, of course, from your profile that I read, with emphasis on communication and over 21 years experience, technical expertise. What do you think is Nigeria's specific challenge of not exploring technology as a means to fighting insurgents, or better still, let me call them militias?
Now, Nigeria and the educational system, we are like 20 years or more behind. So we need, the curriculum is not there. You know, this morning I was talking to a group and I told them, NUC and Koren, I also spoke with that in Manchester in the Nigerian Society of Engineers, and I said, the curriculum needs to be changed. We need to follow what is happening in the day. Somebody will say, oh, you know, you need money. You don't need money. A poor man is not a man without money, but a man without vision. When the vision is not there, the idea is not there, nothing happens. Put up the idea, run with it. The idea generates the fund, you know, and then if the fund is generated, it becomes very easy. And this idea that, oh, it cannot work, it's not possible, nobody has done it. No, I'm a believer that things are possible. But somebody has to start it. Somebody has to initiate it. Somebody has to follow it up. Somebody has to get the feedback. When you have a system that gives feedback, watch it, that system will work. What is happening is that there is no feedback. Nobody is coming back. Look at what is going on in UK. In United Kingdom, there's what we call REF, Research Excellence Framework. Research Excellence Framework means that people comes back every 5 years to look at the courses people are running. Do you know how many lecturers? What is the recruitment? What is the retention? People that graduated from there, what are they doing? Are they working? I'm not talking about studying Yoruba and becoming the bank manager. Or studying Igbo and then you are head of national security. What do you have to give that? Okay, are we going to speak Igbo in that place? So these are the things that, these are the problems.
I think you're quite experienced with your homeland.
Yeah, so everyone works according to what you have studied. So they come back in ref to say how many people are now working in computing. You got them in to come into the country to study. How many are really doing the computing? How many nurses are actually practicing? How many? That is a check and balance, feedback. And then they now know. If not, they tell you, cancel this program. It will not hold again. So that is the feedback that goes in the educational system. Curriculum are updated. You don't use the same material you have taught last year to teach this year. You know, we update, we try. You know,
and that will also make those in the teaching profession.
It sets everybody up. Or when you become a professor, it's like you have just started. But I know some of my colleagues, when immediately they became a professor, they told me, Celestine, I have arrived. I told them, I was opportune to enter. I won't mention it. I was opportune to enter, to come in to a particular school.
Okay.
Somebody invited me and I went in. I said, what are you people eating? He said, Celestine, come here. I said, what is going on? Come and eat pounded yam and egusi soup. I said, what is? He said, one of our students is graduating. I said, has he graduated? They said, no. I told them, when I defended my PhD, it was when I came out, my wife called and said, Celestine, you have been speaking for 5 hours. There was not people who went there failed before me. So why will I think of eating pounded yam in my own PhD? There was nothing like pounded yam. It was what I was drinking.
When you know that the sky is just the starting point.
They were asking me questions everywhere. 5 hours. In fact, I did not even know I spent 5 hours defending. To now come to Nigeria and meet my colleagues eating pounded yam for somebody who has not defended. The person gave them pounded yam. I said, oh, man, our PhD there is different from what you guys are doing here. Because I told them my own experience. 5 hours of defending without and drinking only water. Nothing to give external who I don't even know.
What a hot set.
You know, and then by the time, I became the first to have PhD in Internet of Things in University of Bote. Because we created something and when we work with it.
But Doc, you are yet to tell me what you really think is the or what are the factors you think is militated against the Nigerian government from exploring this artificial intelligence or other
they don't know. You see, the problem we have in Nigeria, we don't know and we claim we know. We don't know. The people on top don't know. How many of them can use computer? If I bet you go to the House of Assembly, give them a laptop. Everybody is just there talking. Give them a laptop.
Prof, you can't be certain about that.
No. I said how many? I'm not saying all. I'm not saying all.
What's the
Are you
average?
getting? Yeah. Okay. I'm not saying all.
Okay.
It's all about what we call education. Every time even ourselves, we go on for training, we go on for courses, we go on to learn more. So we don't say we have arrived. You don't go in and say, oh, let me teach you because I know it last year. Cyber security are changing. A whole lot of cyber attacks are coming in different form. So we need to be abreast. You need to know what is the one that is out now. It comes up every day.
So I'll be right to say that it is a lack of knowledge.
Lack of knowledge, exactly.
Back for Nigeria.
Exactly. Lack of knowledge and implementation. There is no training for the latest technology.
But you know what, Prof, because I've reasoned this, I've looked at it critically, and I realized that, of course, even the universities, there are so many students. When you're, ending your course, I mean, rounding up, you would definitely do what is called projects. A lot of people have done researches, and they've submitted this researches, but still, they seem to just dump them, and nothing is being done on these researches. So don't you think the Nigerian government itself lacks the will, to make things happen?
Everything, the universities, people have gone into the universities. Now, in our Center of Intelligence of Things, we are partnered with over 12 companies. So the courses we are running now,
about 12 companies in Nigeria,
in UK, top companies that have millions of pounds, as their base. Now, we partnered with them. What are we doing? We are trying to make sure every student in that master's in research will go and do internship with them. When I was in India 2 years ago, I discovered in VIT, because I'm visiting professors to 5 Indian schools. In VIT in India, it is compulsory. You cannot come out in bachelor without having a placement. I'm not talking of when even our OND, they will say they are not doing placement and somebody is in Owoeye market doing placement or Alaba market.
And at the end of
the day, it comes back and say 1 year is over, now I am in HND. No, I'm talking about the school monitoring. School monitoring. In the nursing school, in nursing department from Bolton, we send our students. In fact, you will not be admitted if the hospital is not approving it. So you are admitted straight into the school, but in that hospital, you will be doing your practices. So now tell me why the person will not be good.
It's not possible.
So immediately you come out, you already know what you are doing. Now, what are we doing in our MRES? We are trying to look at it that anyone who registers in our program will have opportunity to start his own company. I created my own company after my PhD.
Wonderful.
Because I had so much to do. I had so much to invest. So I teamed up with some Israeli and Spanish companies. And then we started making some sensors. So that is part. And then the person, if you want to now do PhD, that is left for you. If you're in academic area, you already have industry. Now, tell me, because most of these companies will say, the students don't know our tools. They don't know what we are doing. The research is outskirt. It's like thinking something that is not real. But when you have industries coming to us, now I have Northwest Ambulance Service that gave us 2.5 million data sets to work with them. They have a problem. They don't have the time to deal with it. They come to the university. And then I say, okay, give us the data set, look at the privacy issue, but we're going to develop an algorithm with AI, using NLP to dictate the voice of people calling for ambulance. And we're working that now with them. You see, so we know what they're doing. We know their tools. We give them our tools. We propose a higher tool to them. We try to implement it. We get some funding. So now the United Kingdom ROI is giving funding that we always spell it out. You need a company, 2 companies, 3 companies. Now we got 3 million from EU funding. We have how many companies? We have 3 companies working with us. And we have schools, other places collaborating. You see, so what I'm trying to say is that this collaboration helps us. What the companies are doing. The students also learn from it. Once they come out, the companies takes them because they're already used to their tools. So they won't come out. They won't now come and the company will say, you have studied, come and do another training. Because you already know the tools they are using.
Okay, Doc, very nice. Okay, for us not to, digress, still on AI, I want to know, our borders is quite porous. I mean, I've had different security experts come here and say that and complain about the porosity of Nigeria's border. I want to ask, this AI, how can it help us tackle, or help us in safeguarding or securing our borders? Can it be used? Can it actually work in that aspect?
Do we have base station? Create a base station. And now I did a research because I wanted to help when I got the PTDF, I wanted to help with the pipeline, pipeline leakages. So you see what happened with that research. What happened with that research was I wanted to make sure we have, most of this pipeline are either man destruction, natural destruction, and everything happens in Niger Delta because I'm from Delta. So I was looking for a solution for that. So I created the sensors. Then I put security in the sensors. Node to node sensor security and node to base station security. So you can hack it, And that was what I defended for 5 hours. So I brought it up to help the Niger Delta. And then by the time I came in, they told me, and I came with a board. In fact, my elder brother helped me. I came with a board. And they were like, what is happening? The lights were showing. I demonstrated it. And then at the end of the day, they said, we have already taken people before you came. And I'm someone who believes in things. There are 2 things in life, and I'm one of them who believes in performance. Because there are 2 relationships. It's either you have a relationship, but I believe in what you do should be able to speak for you. So that's how I missed that project. And then I missed that result, went back to Sweden, and Sweden paid me £10,000 every year for my PhD. When they saw the project, and I'm one of the people who got, what do you call it? How will I say it? Got a residency in Sweden because of what I designed.
Wow, excellent.
So, but these are the things we are still coming back and trying to give back
to
in the border. Look at what is going on in the border. You have a base station. You have the drones working. You don't need people to be patrolling. You can see everything from CCTV based on the drone. The camera is there. You can also dictate. Then that will tell you where to also know. So when people know where you can monitor them, you can see them coming in. You can see them going out. And if that place is already have a signal, no coming in, no going out, that is one way of securing the border. And we say with this border we have the gate and all that, so where are people passing in? So you can use that to reduce the people and make it more efficient, monitor where people are coming from, and protect security, protect the country from that area.
All right, quite interesting. Doc, I must give you kudos that you're not discouraged to still come back to Nigeria and continue to give back to the society. Because for me, what happened when you brought in solution and they told you that they've already not even looking at what you brought to see if it's better than what they've seen. They just don't care as long as some people have been, chosen, and that ends it. And they can't even think of how to still bring you in. And you're still coming back. What do you think? Now let's get down to education, really. What do you think Nigeria is missing when it comes to education? Because I've realized that, take for instance, you are an example. You left Nigeria, went abroad, and you have continued in this education line. And a high number of Nigerians continue to see how they migrate through education routes. What do you think we are not getting right or we're getting wrong?
Now, if you see the government of China, India, the other time I was talking with the ambassador of India to UK, and then they are going into more cybersecurity, machine learning. It's now a national policy. We have not created that kind of policy, where we have a national policy for a particular set. So now Indians are producing a whole mass production of people in cyber, in everything, AI and all that. So in the next future, you are going to see Chinese. When I was there in China, they developed what we call 2030 next generation artificial intelligence. 3 weeks ago, that is like, I'm talking about 2021. They set 10 years ago, using different levels of artificial intelligence. Now, 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, we had a conference in Bolton where our VC inaugurated this center, and brought in, so we are thinking, the team was next generation artificial intelligence. And we are not yet, Nigeria is not yet in the first generation. We are thinking of second generation.
Look at that.
We're looking at second generation.
So Nigeria is really lagging behind.
Yes, because we need to come to first before you talk about second. So we are now in second level. We are now developing bringing a whole quantum physics and quite a whole lot into it. It's going to be massive. We don't have database in Nigeria. Nothing can be stored. So if there's no database, the past criminals, the records, somebody can go to the police station or where and bomb all the things. Every information is lost. We don't use cloud system very well. The CCTV that has been captured, who did they give it to? How connected are the military operations working? So, but if you look at part of the education, like I spoke in the current Nigerian Society of Engineering program in Manchester, and I told them, the current leaders were there, and I said, current and NU should sit up. Sit up and watch the curriculum. What is the curriculum? Because it comes from them. Do you monitor the curriculum? Do they have AI in place? Look at the curriculum. Is it a future-oriented curriculum? Or we are trying to do meet-up curriculum? If it's a future-oriented education, then we are giving hope to the future. We are giving hope to the youths. But if we are still based on how do we catch up, then it's a problem. Because those things we are trying to catch up doesn't exist in the real world outside Nigeria. So if you leave Nigeria, you come in. I know most of our students who came from Nigeria, they were having problem in coding and all that because they have no background. The background is weak. The background is weak because every time they say it's money, it's not money. It sets the foundation. It's still teaching. Then, if the teachers teaching it don't have that foundation, then teach the teachers first.
But Doc, like they say, talk is cheap, right? But the truth of the matter is, I find that a lot of people even go into teaching from primary school because I believe that, you should catch them when they're young.
Yes.
Many of these teachers in primary school, they themselves need to be schooled.
Exactly.
They themselves are not, qualified enough to teach. Many of them are just secondary school.
Exactly.
Government secondary school.
Prepare a program, seminars, training for them. Make it I keep saying feedback. Every year, what did you achieve? Good enough with this Enugu State University that I'm speaking with the VC, soon. He gave mandate that all lecturers must have Q1, publications. Now some of my friends are calling me, I don't have, which one is Q1? I said Q1 is the highest. Now everybody is sitting up. Every lecturer is sitting up. By November, you need to show your publication. You need to show what you have been able to achieve. That is the first goal.
So it's
no more business as usual. In fact, you can't even get more promotion without us knowing what you have done. You don't get promotion in UK, because in the university system, you compete among your friends. You compete amongst your colleagues. Position will come out. Every one of us will apply. And then what we now spell out is your performance. Your performance. What have you been able to achieve? What did you do? Who did you meet? How much did you bring into the system? So it makes all sit down. That's why I said, Professor, the level where we are now is a level where things must happen. If it's not happening, they kick you out. But do we have that in Nigeria? No. That is why I keep saying feedback. Somebody has to set it. And you see, it's not just calling on President Tinubu, or the government. It has to start from every institution, from every department. Every department held, what is the goal? Do you have a stand-up meeting every 9 a.m. to discuss? Or every week to discuss how this would go? What is the goal? What is the financial risk? Ability to predict, ability to see the future. That's why I say AI is about what happened, what is happening, and what will happen.
In the future.
Then that helps you in the financial sector. It helps you to plan. It saves cost. It saves human, bringing. This. Someone was telling me, you are planning. I'm planning November to Remember program, and someone was like, November to Remember in November. This Celestine, this. I said it's already late. By now, the posters should be everywhere. And I said, I am giving you 2 days to get the posters out. I said, yeah, this is how you plan. Next year, I've already planned the conference that will be held in, and this. I'm not. The speakers confirm.
But from all said and done, Prof, it shows that to an extent your orientation has changed, basically because you have international exposure. I mean, by virtue of your schooling there. I mean, so do you think that orientation is actually critical here?
Yes, we have orientation agency. The thing is, what are they what is the orientation? Are you getting me? You see, we're still talking about setting that agenda. It's not just saying, I'm going to catch all the suicide bombers. We hear that every time. The governor, the president has spoken. Everybody goes back. What is the implementation? So you say something, you go after it. That is the difference between what we say in Nigeria and what we say in other places. You say it, you package it, you work it out, you follow it, you check it through, you see the feedback, and you move on. That is what helps. Now, somebody has released money, amount of money released, nobody in constituency, people are not asking questions. They just come in and give everybody 1 bag of rice or half bag of rice or packaged gari, and everybody will say, yes, Babasa. And then you move on. Yeah, and then you move on. And then even you that say Babasa, you come back again to collect another Babasa. We keep rotating problems. So the youth need to sit up to say, what is my future? What is my future like? Then that will help change what you are even believing. Now, so many the funny thing, Nigerians are on the internet. They're on the internet, but it's all the gossip and all the when Davido has married, or when this is happening, or when that one is who is divorcing. The time, I keep saying, those who make news don't watch news.
That's very true.
Those who make news don't watch news. Because you need time you need time to work. You need time to and then like I keep saying to my students.
And time is not.
I tell my students,
nobody's friend.
If you sleep 8 hours every day and you live 75 years, you have slept 25 years of your life. So why do you need to sleep 8 hours?
But I think this is a professor's orientation. I think.
No, that is it. You have slept 25 years of your life. That is a wasted life. You see, so you need, so when people say, oh, you slept 4 hours, you slept 3 hours, you have 4 hours, and then because you have to be effective. Of course, weekend and all that, they will say rest where there is time for everything.
It's time for everything. That reminds me, talking about education, Prof. The UK government, I can remember precisely in December, in 2023, December, announced that it ends its MSc students program and dependent visa, which of course dashed the hopes of many Nigerians because absolutely this is the education route, is the route many Nigerians are applying, for them to migrate legally, all right, because they have the opportunity to bring in their dependents. In fact, I put in for it, but for some little challenges, I couldn't make it. I want to ask, is this still the position of the UK government, or are there other openings that Nigerians willing to migrate legally through education can actually explore?
Okay, most schools in UK, especially for Nigerians, they waived the English, nothing like IELTS or, so that is a good one. But if you are coming from the Asia,
IELTS, right?
yes. So you don't need any English certification as long as you have passed it in your WAEC or GCE or NECO or NAPTEP, then that is okay, which is a good one for Nigeria. Nigeria also has opportunity to pay half of their school fees. They only say dependents because some dependents were actually sleeping in the train station. Accommodation was a problem, so it became a national issue. Some of the landlords started collecting 6 months house rent, which is against the law. 1 year house rent and from Nigerians, and other places. So then the house rent increased in all these places. So they feel, and then not everyone, some of them just sold everything they had and boom, and relocated without having, and then even though they say, oh, we have the money to take care of ourselves, it was not there. So, and then the school fees became a problem. Some of them were not able to pay. In Asia, you must pay complete school fees before you get visa. Complete. So they actually have this goodwill for Nigeria, Now, but then when people started seeing all this problem, it became a kind of national outcry, UK needs Nigeria. Everybody knows that. They need the Africa because Nigerians have done a lot and will keep doing a lot in that places. So what they did was to just reduce it and monitor it. That's what I keep saying, feedback. They monitor it to be sure that, all these areas, the healthcare, which is still suffering, they need more people. Our Nigerians, we can do anything. We can walk anywhere. Not all the people in UK can do that. So they still need masters in research.
Are you saying there's an opening in
Yes.
your own university?
Yes.
Really? Okay.
Every masters in research and PhD, you can come with your dependents. In UK.
PhD?
Yes. So we run masters in research.
sure?
No, PhD and masters in research.
In research?
Yes.
Okay.
So we are running, our center is running masters in research in computing and masters in research in AI. We also have masters in research in law. We have masters in research in logistics. We have masters in research in engineering. So if you are checking online, you see masters in research specialism. University of Bolton, you will see it there. And then if you check it on the Gulf website, the UK website, you'll see research-based courses are allowed to come with their dependents. That is still an opening for now, for those coming in September. Election is coming this week or so. We don't know what will happen next. Every government things changes because everybody is trying to protect themselves, political reason and all that.
I'm aware, and I know, and I think you also mentioned it, of course, the UK government will not make you pay full school fee like that. It's
Yes.
the opportunity to pay half
Exactly.
of the school fee.
No, in Bolton, you actually pay £3,000.
£3,000.
Yes, and Bolton is one of the cheapest. If you have, it's 15,000 now school fees, but if you have first class, 2,000, 3,000 is off your school fees. If you have 2-1, 2,000 is out of your school fees. If you have 2-2, 1,000 is off from your school fees. And then they give you some time. They break it up to like 3 stages for you to pay. So you just pay the first 3,000, get your financial statement and everything ready, and then that is it. So,
but the total amount is what? Because
it's 15,000 total amount of school fees. That's before the scholarship.
It's 14,000.
Yes. So then it was certain they just, but like I say, the scholarship is there. In fact, last year, the Bolton even gave free accommodation, which was worth 6,000 for a year
Wow.
for students.
I got my admission with the University of Westminster.
Yes.
And that was about 14,000.
Yes. Some schools are high, some are 25,000, in Aberdeen, and, when you now want to go very high. But the funny thing is that all of them still the same thing at the end of the day. It's just the name, and then it's just the name. But Bolton is known.
It's all offer quality.
Exactly. And Bolton is known to have good students. We are in top guardian, and we have consistently maintained it in terms of quality of teaching. Bolton is well known in Northwest for that.
So what's the website?
Bolton, just go down to bolton.ac.uk,
right.
and then you see all the applications there. For if you are looking for MRes, Masters in Research, you will see Center of Intelligence of Things also there. In our Center of Intelligence of Things, you will see quite a whole lot of things we do. How we combine AI with medical applications, AI with big data, AI with network security, intelligence, and then we have robotic system. We also have Internet of Things, in that area. And then it's quite a whole lot that you can do in Bolton, with your Masters in Research.
All right, Prof, that's beautiful. I'm very happy about the information that you've given us. Of course, that's the essence of SuperEye also. To enlighten you, inform, and of course to also entertain you. Yes. All right, about now, we'll take a short break, and we will be right back. And of course, with my guests. Yes, viewers, it's really good to have you back, and the program is the SuperEye. Yes, we have been talking about how we can explore AI, in solving Nigeria's security challenge. Yes, like they say, for any nation to sustainably address insecurity, it must invest in education programs and other areas. In technology. I still have my guest here. Yes, a lecturer, Professor Celestine Iwendi, from the University of Bolton, UK. I want to ask, yes, we're talking earlier, what other technology do you think Nigeria can explore away from AI? Then I also want to point to you, as we speak, we have economic challenge at the moment. I know that it is global. But of course, in Nigeria, it's really biting. I can tell you for free that, in Nigeria, I don't know if you're aware, there's a thing that we call Derika. Before now, the Derika of beans goes for, say, in fact, during COVID, or after COVID, goes for like 150 naira per Derika, or max to 200 naira. But as we speak right now, a Derika of on the bins, you will get it for not less than 2,000 or 2,200 naira. How do you think can AI function in any way to help us address this area?
Now, what you have in AI is more helping to ease the push, the pressure of human being doing things. So we are going to apply quite a whole lot. Now, another emergency that should come into place is agriculture. This is what we are good at. We always know the cocoa that we were very good in producing. This is now story we tell our kids. Good enough, history is back to the curriculum again. They remove it so that there is no history. Because how would there be history when people were still in 1960 are still people still now? You know, so you know, they were like, remove the history, nothing to talk about. You know, because the history helps. You know, you can imagine when a child forgets his lineage, the child will be a bastard. That is how they have made our youth look like. That is why you have youths who don't even respect elders. You know, because nobody hears what our grandfather were doing before to survive. Why they actually married many wives were because of the farm, so they can have many children. You know, and that. But do we need many wives and many children now when we have robots that could, you know, program it with AI? See what I'm saying? You have all these machines programmed with AI to till the ground and make things for you. So when the ground is tilled, it becomes easy. That is what we call mechanized farming. Applying AI in mechanized farming can help a lot. So, but the mindset needs to be there. This mindset of let's get quick money. One time I got some plots and they planted the palm kernel, and someone said, oh, and I showed them a picture. I said, it's 2 years. He said, 2 years already. I said, they are producing. He said, all hectares, 10 hectares. I said, you see, I said, this is the mentality. When we invest, we look for 5 years, 5 years. When our people invest in Nigeria, we are looking for we are looking for the result now. When a white man invests for a long time, people in developed countries invest, then nobody even gets the money. My colleagues then, when they bought Burger King, you know, in Norway, they bought it, and then I told them, are you paid? He said, no, for 3 years he will not be paid. I said, how will you survive? For 3 years. He said, no, that is an investment for him. That is 3 years. You know, tell me which Nigerian businessman will invest and say, if the money is not coming out, they close down. You need time, you know, for these things to grow. Just the way we plant the palm kernel, you allow it time to grow. That is the investment. You invest in the school, you have a private university, you invest in that place. So in terms of farming, we have this AI to work because it's all talking to the machine and say, work on this, work on that, without human being doing it. So we can actually have mechanized systems, and this mechanized system can make things work. And we'll have them producing because you have used AI, spoken into them based on the data. Pick, throw here, keep here, move, take this one, go here. If you have been to Dubai, the robots and AI are working as policemen. Where are you going to? Where are you coming from? You know, so even if you want to attack, you attack a robot, and robot only hears, it doesn't hear come, he hears go.
So which means you also function in medical...
exactly. Of course. You see, like I said, without AI, COVID medication would have been very difficult. So all these are based on data sets, based on what has been. I could know, okay, what is my farm bringing out? I could calculate, predict. I say, okay, the farm made so money. Where is the loss? These are the things AI does. Even as a retailer, you need to have an AI mentality to know where are you investing. You know, what will you need to give for you to sell more? Where is your market? You know, market prediction. That is why AI is used even in the stock market, where you can predict. You can use, you can predict. You know, I know my colleague who predicts, who knows where the shares are falling, which one will go. He uses AI, and he's always investing every time.
Okay, Doc. So much talk about what AI can do and how it should be, you know, enhanced.
Yes.
For starters, I'm sure some of my viewers, you know, watching right now, they must have, you know, they must have grown interest now to wanting to know more about AI. For starters, how do they begin?
Now, for starters, there are many programs, many courses for free, run by MIT. There are some that our center will also be running to let people know for free.
Wow.
That will give you, there are a whole lot of conferences that I'm planning out to organize, and we are even making them online. You don't need to pay to attend those conferences. We did it last year. We are doing another one now in November in Morocco for free. And I'm going to host another one in Bolton. I'm also hosting conference later this year for law magistrates on AI and what they need to know. What they need to, the tools they need that will help them decide cases when there are manipulations of evidence. You see, so a whole lot of courses are running everywhere. But if people don't check, you will not know. Anyone who wants to know much, get all these courses, just add me up on LinkedIn, and say this is what you need. I'll give you a whole lot, especially in cybersecurity. Many courses are going on. Like I said, our people waste time on the internet. What do they do on the internet? Watch most people in reels. Some people are showing themselves naked because
watching skits.
Watch it. It's mentality. Mentality has to change. I understand you want to get more people to look at you, more people so that you can get little pay. But sometimes, what are you actually giving? What is the benefit to the society? This kind of program, how many people will tune into it? But boy, if I get naked now, it will get more views.
Like say negative news.
Exactly.
Fast.
You see that? So you see, yes. Mentality has to change, and it has to. That is the beginning of orientation. To say, what are you looking for? What do you intend to achieve? We all went to local schools, and then it's not just God took us out, because everything is about God took us out.
Say we all went to local schools. Not everybody went to local schools.
You see that? Not everybody. You see that? No, there's still local schools as long as it's Nigeria. I don't care how much they pay.
Okay, yes.
If you compare, you see the kids, the kids my school went, attended in what do you call it, in Sweden. If it is in Nigeria, we'll be paying in 20 million, but it's free there. So whatever they are paying here, and they don't still have this knowledge. I've seen people who pay so much, in school fees, are still struggling in UK, because the basis is still not there. The environment in which they have studied did not change what they have studied.
All right, beautiful. Finally, before I let you go, Prof, can you give me your parting words to Nigerian government and, of course, the people on how we can actually build a better Nigeria? Because as it is, just last week we saw what happened in Kenya, where the people protested. Of course, the bill has been dropped, but some people already warning President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on the need for him to be very careful that Nigeria is likely to be the next country where the masses will protest, and they might be calling for the impeachment. This is not what I hope to happen, but of course, with the situation of things, like they say, anything can happen. What's your final words to the government and, of course, the people in building a better Nigeria?
The president needs to take the bull by the horns. Ask questions. It's not letting your people tell you what is going on without you saying what is going on. They write your speech and you come in and give the speech. Where is the implementations? I want to see the results. Get into the grassroots. What is happening? What is, if the ministers are coming in, what have they implemented? Where is the scorecard? If everyone has a scorecard, monthly scorecard, feedback, questions are being asked, implementations, what have they implemented? Where have they implemented it? Who did they implement it to? It's not saying we're going to feed 200,000 people in Nigeria, give them money in their account. Some people got some who knows, did not even get anything. And more of the money went to people's, We have to decide to move this country forward. In terms of education, like I said, declare a state of emergency in security in terms of making life to matter. Not when people have been killed and we start running helter-skelter. Preemptive efforts. Predict. What do you call them? The military, the air force, the police, they need to work together. They are doing, but it's not enough. If this is enough, we shouldn't have Boko Haram or any other, insurgents. Because they are not working enough. They are using telephone. So something is missing somewhere.
They're still fighting insecurity locally.
Exactly. So we need to provide ammunitions, materials. You see, I do AI for human benefit, not to kill people. But not that we don't have the chemical weapons or things we can use in that. So you need to provide equipment, tools for those in borders. Nobody is sending their kids to be in the military to go and die, and then we'll come and sing for them and bury them with gun salute. Everybody wants to live, and people wants to live. Give them the tools that will make them live. Let's have training for our military, including all those in the local, because this thing is not happening. Nobody is coming to fight your special, special forces in Abuja. They are killing these ones you have sent to the villages. who have no training, who are losing their families are being lost. They've lost their breadwinners.
Quite unfortunate.
Then this is it. Education system, what do you call it? NUC and current should sit up, help rewrite the curriculum. We are going backward. Rewrite the curriculum, look at what other people are doing, base it on our own culture. Make the university collaborate with the industry so that our youth can have where to work. A youth that finished 25 years should not be asked 10 years, what is your 10 years experience before you get the job? How would the youth get it? Did the youth finish 12 years in the university? We have to set things straight. But if the company knows that they were already trained and they partnered with them and they worked with them before they graduated, they will have belief in them. They will know that they will be efficient in that job.
Right, beautiful. Many thanks, Professor. Well, viewers, I've been speaking with, yes, a leading researcher in artificial intelligence applications and the head of the Center of Intelligence of Things, University of Bolton, UK. Let me say many thanks for coming in SuperEye. Now, a lot has been discussed on the program, but I think one thing which is vital is the need for the Nigerian government to sit up, because it appears as though the nation Nigeria is sitting on a time bomb waiting to explode, and we cannot afford to fold our hands. Yes, as a member of the fourth estate of the realm, we are here to put government on their toes. And with all that's been shared by Professor Celestine Iwendi, there is need for government to actually listen and truly take the bull by the horn. Just like I said, if government can enhance or explore AI, we can achieve food security and a whole lot medically and what have you. I mean, the advantages of AI is numerous, and we need to start now. And the advice has also been for government to be proactive rather than being reactive. We need to be proactive, planning ahead so that challenges are not facing us and we're like, we don't know where to go. But hopefully, government will listen. Not even for a government that has promised us a renewed hope. We're still waiting to see that indeed our hope has been renewed. If indeed our hope has been rekindled, then we should not be talking about this state of the nation. Insecurity continues, a bad economy continues, and the list is endless. And a clarion call on President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to do something before Nigerians get tired of democracy. Many thanks for watching. I'm Adenike, Owoeye, Ajiboye, and this is where we'll draw the curtain on this week's edition of SuperEye. And it's bye for now.